John.
Hi, Lionel. Right. Okay. So I am feeling extremely grateful right now to be joined by Lionel Lodge, who has been a mentor of mine, got me into IT very much in the first place and into music very much in the first place. He is the star of the Exploring Music podcast, where he plays the reluctant moderator talking to some of the world's greatest experts on music. If you haven't listened to it, you really should check it out. And he's very kindly agreed to try this little experiment. So I'll just quickly explain exactly how this works. I have spent, gosh, a long time building websites in IT that I'm not going to embarrass Lionel by saying how long ago it was he got me started in IT, but let's just say it was a little while in a little country pub in a time far, far, far away. It was a little while ago. It was in another millennium. Um, and in that time, I've managed to build all sorts of interesting interactive websites and things with huge audiences. But I've also done a lot of personal development, and Lionel and his father were very instrumental in introducing me to many of these concepts, looking as well as into the computer, but looking into the nature of the personal development. And so we've been able to marry some of these ideas. I've done 2 years of research, and tomorrow, with the new moon, I plan to launch my first CLARYTEQ group. Now, the way CLARYTEQ works is it's a system by which you can get support from friends and others, and people. I'm messing this up now. What is CLARYTEQ? It's a
What
system.
is CLARYTEQ? Now you say that it's to get support from friends, but they can also be strangers, can't they?
Absolutely, yeah. Our real goal is to put together a group of very supportive individuals around a specific subject, and really find the people who can help you. Almost to move on from the idea of online dating, we have this crazy idea that one person will fix us and make us whole, and our experience tells us differently. That really what we need is a group of people with different opinions. It's
Well,
it's
life is like that, isn't it? Life is like that, a series of interactions with different people that from these different interactions over time, you get to slowly adjust who you are and slowly learn from the lessons and build yourself into somebody that you want to be. And as you start, everybody's got cracks, and you start like fixing over the cracks and bring yourself to a position where you feel more like who you want to be, right? By
yeah.
bouncing off other people. And
I
so
kind of wanted.
it seems to me what you're talking about is to do this on as a group situation online with people that you can bounce off and get their reactions. So they're not necessarily they're telling you what you're thinking, but just sort of getting you to engage in investigating, indulging into the depths of who you are and answering your own questions.
Yeah, I think what I wanted to do was to bring the kind of structure that you get in software development and bring that to personal development. There's a system called Agile, which allows you to develop really complex ideas just by being present always in the moment with the next thing you have to do in front of you. And one of the hardest things with personal development is looking at yourself. And it's I've described it as the science of the bleeding obvious, but a university proved last year that you're about 8 times more likely to be able to look at somebody else's situation and feel into it intuitively and know where they should be going than for yourself. So the idea was to
It's
create
like
these
watching
groups.
a movie or a television show, and you go, "Well, no, don't do that. That's
Yeah,
stupid."
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? Well, you're being stupid. Don't do that.
Yeah,
Just a sec. Hold.
I've got a question. So the format of the CLARYTEQ meeting is basically we have introductions, we talk about successes. Obviously, we can't do that the first time. Then we have like a little prepared introduction with something for us to think about and consider. And then we break into groups of three and then over the cycle, you'll be with different members of the three. So I would ask and then within my group of three, I would ask a question which is bothering me right now, and the other members of the group would ask me questions about that. So you avoid providing solutions, providing answers, telling me what to do, any of those things. And it's about drawing that out. This came from something we did. We've done about 2 years research and found this really works beautifully. So there's only me and Lionel here, and I think we should give it a try right now. Lionel's never done this before, and let's see if this works. So I'm going to tell you what my question is. I really should start a timer right now, but we've got roughly 10 minutes. So okay, so my question right now is I'm trying to start this CLARYTEQ. I'm finding it very hard to do this on my own, and I've realized that I need to actually invite a group of friends to come and help me use this method and this approach to see if it can help me build. It's a kind of chicken and the egg kind of scenario. So tomorrow, Wednesday, the 13th of January, my 49th birthday, and the new moon, we're going to start this agile moon sprint personal development process and see if it can help me deliver CLARYTEQ. But the beautiful thing is, it also should deliver the same benefits to any difficult question that anyone who comes to be a part of it is. I don't know if it's going to work.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So why don't you think it's going to work? Why don't you know if it's going to work?
I guess nothing like this has ever been tried before. I feel a lot of good energy. I feel a lot of good energy about it. I guess I don't know if I can cut through the noise and actually get people to just open their minds and give it a go.
All right. And so what is the best way to start that?
I think just by starting. I wanted to start with the Elvis song, a little less conversation, a little more action, please, like that. I thought that would be quite a good way to start. But that's a different meeting, Lionel.
Mm-hmm. Right. So how do you start?
Put a lot of stuff on Facebook. I've made a few connections with people. I found some people who said, "Hey, John, you're that guy who did loads and loads of stuff, and then for the last 5 years, you've been messing everything up. How do I know this is going to be any success?" And I'm saying, just come, just enjoy it. Be a part of it with me. Experience the same growth that I believe I'm going to get from this.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So you use the word success. If this is going to work, what does that mean? Success.
I guess I just had it then. It's a real feeling in my heart when you ask me a question and I find that I do have the answer. Just gives me some purpose and direction and sense that, what, I've done it. 24 hours from now, I'm going to know I've taken a risk. I've made myself vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible little.
Is being vulnerable, is that a difficult thing to face?
I think everybody finds it hard. We spend so much of our time and life living in fear of being judged, not putting your head too tall above the parapet, just fitting in. I know that doesn't count to Lionel Lodge, but but we do. We're so. I say I recognize in myself that I can be really just paralyzed by this fear.
And what are you afraid of?
What am I afraid of? What am I afraid of? You know what? I've made a real effort over the last 5 years to just cut fear out of my life completely. And that's taken me down a few dodgy corners, places, and actually places where I have ended up completely in fear of my life. And it's a miracle that I survived and got out of them, you know. I've come to a new understanding now. I treat fear like a light on the dashboard that comes on. It's not controlling the steering wheel. I can still go about my journey in the same way. But when that little fear light comes on, I notice it. And then this is when it would be really good, instead of playing out the same old stories in my head, to have a group of friends that I could talk to and be accountable to about the choices that I may have to make in that moment.
Mhm. You keep using the word friends. Do they need to be friends?
No, no, they don't. I used to really admire people who could get on a bus and become best friends with the guy in the seat next to them, and maybe not even ever take their phone number. And maybe I've had some of those experiences in my past. And it's so funny, these voices, like, we run into a situation that reminds us of something from our childhood. And something that I've found so helpful from my experience is to say, whose voice is that? It's Karen's voice, by the way. But anyway, that's another story. If you're listening to this, you're not hearing things. It's Lionel's incredibly beautiful Austrian life partner who was
Wife.
very lucky
Yeah.
to be with. Wife, yes, of course, you got married. Yeah,
Oh,
you got
yes.
married
Yes, yes,
in
yes.
lockdown in Greece. Wow, wow,
No, we got
amazing.
married in Vienna. We
Vienna,
got married in
sorry, but
Vienna.
I spoke to
Yeah,
you in Greece. Yeah,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
wow, yeah, that's amazing. I'd love to ask you
But
questions about that, but
let's get back. Let's get back to what are
get
you
back to my
afraid of?
question. Yeah, you know, just
What are you afraid of?
that it's always going to turn out the same way it turns out every time before. That's the real fear.
Right,
And the
right.
truth is, that leads us to doing things exactly the same way we always did them, because we
That's
believe
right.
that's what will keep us safe. And yet, when we identify, when we identify those voices and those stories and where they came from, and you can kind of sit back and laugh at them. Like, I'm quite funny. I fall over a lot. I break things a lot. I'm quite clumsy. And yet I can actually, as I've got to sort of 48 years and 364 days, I've discovered I'm incredibly good at catching. Like, I'll knock a tail, I'll catch it. Like, I'm really good at that. There was one time I amazed some people. I fell towards a glass table covered in all the drinks for the party. And in midair, I could change my angular momentum and land in a different place. And all the people watching me just went, how is that possible? And the truth is, what I realized is that my mum was 39 years old when she had three other children. And at the age of
Mhm.
39, having a little tiny, powerful, energetic little boy. So she used to tell me things like, don't be a bull in a china shop. You're so clumsy, all these things. And it became like an instruction to me. I'd replay that and I'd tell myself I was clumsy. I'd tell myself I'd break things. And I broke things. As I let go of those stories,
Or you just noticed that you broke things because everybody breaks things.
yeah, yeah. And I just thought it was part of my identity. And really, I make things. I make beautiful and wonderful things that I love to share with
Yeah,
people.
yeah.
And
It's
sometimes you got
it's
to
like
break things to make
it's
things.
like failure, right? It's just like failure, right? Everybody fails, right? And the
Mm.
people that actually can deal with failure is the people that see that as a lesson and see that as not a pattern of themselves, but just, okay, there's a lesson, and I didn't enjoy that,
Mm.
and how do I learn from it, and how do I, next time that situation comes up, how do I not fall down?
Failure
Right?
is one of the kindest masters. It
Well,
really is.
there's in the business world, they say you can't succeed unless you fail.
It's true.
Right?
Lionel, I've got 30 seconds left by my timer. Have you got any last questions? You've got me to a really beautiful place. What I'm really excited about launching this tomorrow. I really hope you can join us tomorrow evening. The details are on the Facebook page that I very hastily created.
Mhm. I would like to join. I do have a full day of business meetings tomorrow, even though it is your birthday. I'm sure I will make my effort to join in. I'd like to point out these three funny guys in the background.
Wow, they're beautiful.
You see
Yeah,
these three funny guys.
yeah, I
Now
see them.
this is a Taiwanese batik,
Oh, it's beautiful.
right? And they are the three men of confusion. I call them, not as the Chinese confusion, but as actually just confusion.
Mm.
They stand there, and all they do is stand there looking confused, right? And so, and how do they actually stop being confused? Well, I don't think they ever can stop being confused. I think they just have to accept that they're three men of confusion, and there's
Well,
nothing
they
wrong
are.
with that.
Their
There's nothing
nature.
wrong with that, right?
That's beautiful.
But but so with all of this,
Mm-hmm.
right? So you have your goal, you have what you want to do, and you see the reason behind it and how it can help people, right? So what is going, what do you see as the reason that this won't work in your mind? What is the line that says
Do you
this
know
didn't
what?
work?
The honest truth to that answer is I discovered a real benefit to kind of bipolar manic depression, which is that, I do have mood swings. I don't have a diagnosis of any kind. And I've learned to cope with this through the meditation that your father taught me and others, that actually I can notice when my energy gets dangerously high, and I can manage it, and I can kind of, it's almost like letting the Coke bottle out just a little bit at a time. But I've noticed that when I have had these mood swings over the last few years, that I'll get these quite strong ideas, and then in the downtime, I get to really seriously think them through. And certainly over Christmas and New Year, I've had about 15 days of really quiet, relaxed, reflective time, and I've thought this through in a great amount of detail. And I really think we've got something quite beautiful to share with the world. I really am
I think it's
hoping.
a great idea, and I think it's as far as opening up to answer your own questions is the
Mm,
best way to get your answers, and to be prodded, and to be actually people help to open up your own mind to answer your own questions. That's the best way. Nobody likes to be told what to do, and
mm.
if you're lectured, this is what you should do and this is how you should handle this, I think most of the time that just falls aside very quickly.
Slamming my book down. Lionel, what the fuck do you know? Do you know what I mean? It's like,
Yeah,
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 I've been working on this 2 years, man.
yeah.
You know, fuck
Or, or, or,
all.
or
You
you
know?
could nod and say, yeah, that sounds like a good idea. Yeah, I'll do that. And you walk away going, that was a
Oh,
waste of
what
time.
do you know? Yeah.
What does
No,
he
this is
know?
brilliant because you're just, yeah, you are bringing that experience out of yourself. There are so many applications to this. I can't wait to share them. But for now, I just want to put it to the test by seeing if it can help bring itself into fruition.
Right. Yes. Well, but just launch it, right? It's all, the old saying is the only way to start a trip, to travel
Step,
somewhere, is take the first step.
take the first step. Yeah,
And
definitely.
I think the scary part is the fun part.
Yes, yes, I would agree. Getting
Mhm.
out of your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Lionel, I really just want to thank you. My 10 minutes is
But
absolutely up.
we did waste some time in between with pauses, so I don't think we've actually,
It's
once you
okay
edit
because
this,
they'll
I
get
don't think
edited out and
it's
no one will know they existed.
yeah,
10
I
minutes.
don't think we'll have 10 minutes, right?
No, we have. I've been doing the maths.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm just going to go again. Lionel, thank you so much for helping me do this. I really feel that we've just taken that first step really in that journey now. I've actually done it for the first time. Thank you.
Oh, you're very welcome. Pleasure, and
Wow.
thank you.